Our next investigation led us to the Anglican Church, also known as the Church of England. And what's so interesting about this church specifically is that my atheist friend here enjoyed this service at the Anglican Church. He said it was his favorite service he's ever been a part of.
It was, mainly because the vibe there was extremely friendly. It wasn't pushy at all. So when you first go in, it's like every other church. You get greeted and you sit down for the service. And what they actually did there, which I thought was cool, that I've never seen in a church. Well, every church sings, of course, but they would sing and play the, was it the acoustic guitar?
Acoustic guitar.
It was the acoustic guitar, and between songs, they would read verses and then go back to the songs. It was a extremely small crowd too. Like, it's not like there was 30 people in there. There was maybe, how many do you think, like 10?
Yeah, 10, 12, something like
10,
that.
12, like nothing at all. And all these people were, like I said, extremely friendly the entire time. Like, nobody was pushy about anything. And another thing I liked about it was I actually told, I believe there was 2 priests there. Or there might have been a priest and like an assistant priest. I'm not sure. Right?
I found out there was one priest of this church. There was another priest in training. He had the same collar, but he had like a black line or a black tab over his collar, which signified that he is a priest in training.
Yep. Well, that's what I was trying to get to. I actually told him, the priest in training and the priest, that I was atheist. And instead of getting like a really bad response or a bunch of questions, they just nodded their heads, said, yeah, okay. And then we just kind of sat there, and we actually sat there and talked for like an hour after the service, which that's very out of characteristic for me in general. Whenever church is done, I might stand around and talk 10, 15 minutes, but I'm ready to leave. But the people were just so friendly there. I guess they kept us there. Kind of creepy, if you look at it in that sort of way. But yeah, hate to break it to you, nothing really exciting really happened at this church. It was, like we said, like 10 people max, and it was only like an hour. What, hour 15?
Yeah. Well, one thing I thought was interesting is the similarities the Anglican Church has with, say, a Catholic or an Orthodox church.
That's a good point.
But also, I noticed some of the Anglican members would cross themselves during, I believe, when they would invoke, the name of the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
I believe when they were doing it. And they had a really good blend. This is one thing he really liked. They had a really good blend of music and preaching.
Yep.
And Bible reading. So their service consisted of, and the way they're similar to the Orthodox Church is that they chanted Bible verses and they would say prayers out loud. And one thing that they're very different from is that they had instruments in their music.
Yep. Another thing too about the Anglican Church is it seems like they believe heavily on mercy from God. Like, God's just like, now I could be wrong, I didn't study it, okay, I just went for service, but what I got from it was like they perceived God as like kind of like a dictator, kind of. It was all about mercy. Like every other verse was about mercy me God, or something. Like God was like a serial killer or something. Like, it sounds crazy, it really does, but there was a lot of mercy on me and mercy to me God and all that. And I've heard people say that in like Baptists before and all that, but I don't know, it felt like kind of like fear and worship together, kind of. Like, it's very hard to put into words, honestly.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the mixture they had. At some Baptist church, they play music for the first few minutes, and it's a sermon for 40 minutes, an hour plus.
Yep.
The Anglican church, they mixed it up really well. They started with group singing. They chanted some Bible verses. They said some prayers aloud. They had the sermon. They went back to music. They chanted. They sang. They prayed their prayers out loud. They read the Bible verses out loud. And I also noticed one thing I haven't seen in another church yet is the Anglicans had a moment of a moment of group prayer, like a prayer group.
Oh yeah.
To where people would say, "Alrighty, we'll have a moment of silence. If you have a prayer in your heart, say it out loud, and we'll all pray for them." and then a person would speak what they want prayed about or who they want to be prayed about, and then the group would pray about them. And I've seen prayer groups before in a Baptist setting, but that wasn't part of the service itself.
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool that they try to have a personal connect. Their congregation tries to have a personal connection with each other and with the priest.
It really seemed like he's saying, like kind of like an inner circle of people like that knew each other really well. There's a lot of people that were there were like really friendly with each other. So I guess, at least where we currently are, I guess it's not a big thing. So like earlier in the video we said it was like 10 people. I guess these 10 people really know each other. That's the kind of vibe you get walking in there, almost like you're walking into someone's house, kinda. You know what I mean? Like, or if you're going to your friend's house for the first time, meeting his family. That's kind of what it was like. It was like everybody knew each other on a super close level, and then now you're walking in brand new. Which I guess every church is like that, but the Anglican church felt more like that than like a Baptist church, or like it didn't feel more like that on a JW church. So JW felt like everybody there was blood related practically.
So on 1 to 10, what would you as an atheist rate the Anglican church in your experience?
So far it's been my favorite. I know you're probably gonna ask it when I go back. Probably not. Like I said, I'm not religious. But it was probably the funnest service I've been to because it was short, not a lot of people, really nice people. I told them I was atheist, they didn't get upset about it. They kept talking to me like they were before I told them I was atheist, so I mean that's awesome. Like the music, I'd say I'd probably rate it like a 9.
Wow,
like,
9.
Like, it was just nice. Like I don't know, smaller setting, and even though we're outsiders, and this was like an inner circle of people, it sounds like a cult. Maybe it is. Who knows? It didn't feel like a cult. It felt more like a family get together. And now we're coming in on it. I don't know, but it was nice. I liked it, and they didn't make me take my hat off either, which is a bonus. So.
And their dress code was not strict.
Nope.
They were lenient, I guess, maybe lenient, very open.
Yeah.
To visitors, to non-believers, like he mentioned, and to non-followers of their specific church. I told them I was Orthodox. They had no problem with that.
Yep.
He told them he was atheist. They had no problem with that. So they were very cool, very accepting, and very respectful towards us. And I respect the Anglican church for that. Or at least maybe this church is different from the other ones. I don't know. It's the only one I've ever been to. That's an Anglican church.
I respect that church for that. Yeah.
So it was very interesting. What I really liked about the service was the mixture of the singing with the sermon and the chanting and the prayers. I really liked that mixture, but I quite literally have ants crawling up my pants right now. We're out in the woods. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you guys like this video, make sure you check out some other stuff if you're interested in this type of content. So far, we've done the Jehovah's Witnesses in their Kingdom Hall. Orthodox Church during their Pascha, aka Easter service, which is their holiest service of the year. And now we've done the Anglican Church. We have the Mormons coming up next, and we have Catholics. We have a Jewish synagogue on our list. We have Catholics. I think I said that. We have Baptists coming up. We have Methodist, Presbyterians. We have a Mennonite church coming up.
We have
a Muslim mosque, a Hindu center, whatever that means. I don't know. But we have several things coming up. If you're interested in a content like this, comment down below what you enjoyed about this video, what you enjoy about this channel, what you want to see from us next.
And like I said at the start of this, nothing really happened at this church visit, so this wasn't a super exciting video. If you don't see a super exciting video where I had a crazy encounter, I'd recommend the JW video and the Orthodox video. The Orthodox video, we have actual footage of us walking around during a ceremony at night in the woods, practically. And JW is a whole nother ball game. But both great videos. You guys should check them out.